Good morning, students. In this lecture 58, as we were discussing the methods of transistor biasing, and we have started with the first method of transistor biasing in our previous lecture, which was fixed biasing or fixed bias or base resistor method or base biasing method. So we will revise the first method. After that, we will move to our next methods, which are base bias with emitter feedback or fixed bias with emitter feedback, and next one is collector to base bias. So before discussing that, we will revise the first method of transistor biasing, which was fixed biasing. So in case of our fixed biasing, these are the methods of transistor biasing where we use single battery source for the biasing of input and output circuit. So that single battery source was plus VCC, it is the power supply, voltage supply. This plus VCC, it forward biases this base emitter junction via this RB, resistor, base resistor RB, and through this RC, it reverse biases this collector emitter junction. So then what we have to do is we have to find the operating point, and then we have to check that whether this operating point is stable or not. So in all the four methods of transistor biasing, what we do first is by using the single battery source, draw the circuit diagram, then try to find the value of the operating point. And what is the value of the operating point? It is the value of IC and VCE. So we have to find the value of collector current IC and collector emitter voltage VCE. And how we will find that? By applying Kirchhoff voltage law to the input circuit as well as to the output circuit. First of all, apply Kirchhoff's voltage law to the input circuit. From this, you will find the value of base current IB, and we know that in common emitter transistor, collector current IC, it is beta times IB. So from the input circuit, you will be able to find one coordinate of operating point, that is collector current IC. Then after calculating this collector current, apply Kirchhoff's voltage law again to the output circuit. And when you will apply this Kirchhoff voltage law to the output circuit, you will calculate the value of this VCE. And now you have both the coordinates of the operating point or Q point. Then check that with the transistor parameters or with the temperature, this operating point, will it shift or will it be stable? And then write the result or the conclusion. So in case of fixed biasing, when we have applied this Kirchhoff voltage law to this input circuit, what we got? We got VCC, it is equal to IBRB plus VBE. Find the value of IB. It was VCC minus VBE upon RB. This was the value of IB, and then from this IB calculate IC, which was beta IB plus ICEO, but that leakage current, it is very small as compared to this factor beta IB, so that we have neglected. So this IC, it is beta VCC minus VBE upon RB. So this is the value of collector current. Then apply KVL to the output circuit. So then we have applied KVL to this output circuit to find the value of VCE. So this is one coordinate of the operating point or the Q point. So KVL to the output circuit will be VCC. It is equal to ICRC plus VCE. put this value of IC in this equation. So VCC, it is equal to beta times VCC minus VBE upon RB into RC plus VCE. Now find the value of VCE. VCE, it is equal to VCC minus beta VCC minus VBE upon RB into RC. So this is the second coordinate of the operating point. So now we have both the coordinates of the operating point or Q point, and as you can see from the values of this operating point that it depends upon beta. It means if you change the transistor, then its beta value will change. If beta value will change, it means the operating point will change. So in this case, operating point, it shifts with the change in the transistor. And second thing is the value of RB. The operating point, it depends upon the value of RB. This beta, it changes with the change in temperature. When you will increase the temperature, what will happen? Because of the increase in leakage current, this collector current will increase. And if this collector current will increase, then it means this whole factor, it will increase. If this factor will increase, then this VCE will decrease. It means this will change the operating point. Temperature, it also changes the operating point. So that is why to decrease this collector current, what they have chosen? They have chosen high value of RB. So that by choosing high value of RB, what we are doing? We are fixing the high value of RB. So corresponding to this high value of RB, this IB will be small. And if this IB will be small, then we know that the total collector current, it is beta IB plus leakage current ICO. We know that with increase in temperature, this collector leakage current, it will increase. But we don't want to increase this overall collector current. So how can it be happen? If you can decrease this base current by some amount, if you can control this base current by some method, then it will compensate the increase in leakage current, and therefore this collector current, it will change, but it will not change by a significant amount. So that is why by choosing the high value of RB, what they have done, high value of RB means lesser value of IB, and smaller value of base current means when you have fixed high value for this RB, the value of IB is also fixed and its value will be small. And if this IB is small, it means this factor, it is small. So if this will increase, then its value will increase, but it will not reach the very high value. So that is why high value of RB, it must be used in this case, but still the operating point is not very stable in this case because IC depends upon beta. So if you will change the transistor, this beta will change, and which further changes the operating point IC and VCE. Then next factor, that was stability factor. So we have also calculated stability factor in this case, and that comes out to be beta plus 1, and which is very high because the value of beta is high, so stability factor is high. Higher the stability factor means unstable is the transistor. So higher will be the thermal instability of the transistor in case of fixed biasing. That is why fixed biasing is not used. So this we have already done. I hope you have written the disadvantages of this fixed biasing and advantages of this fixed biasing circuit. Advantages of fixed biasing circuit is that it only requires one additional resistance, that is base resistance RB. And second thing is, because the Q point, it just depends upon the value of RB. So by choosing the high value of RB, it is very easy to keep the transistor in the active region. And there is no resistor connected to the emitter circuit or emitter terminal. So these were the advantages of this fixed biasing, but its disadvantages, they overpower its advantages. What is its disadvantage? Because its operating point, it shifts with the temperature and transistor, so the operating point is not very stable. So that is why we cannot use this fixed biasing. And one another disadvantage is its the high value of the stability factor, which is beta plus 1, which we have already discussed. Its stability factor is beta plus 1. We know that the value of beta is high. It means beta plus 1 is very high. So it's a higher value of stability factor. It will cause higher value of thermal instability. So that is why this transistor in fixed biasing mode, it is thermally unstable. So that is why we cannot use this. So next comes our second method of biasing, that is base bias with emitter feedback. And why we are moving from fixed biasing to this second method, base biasing with emitter feedback? To improve the stability of the operating point. Why we are using this method from first method to second? To improve the stability of operating point or Q point. So first of all, draw the circuit diagram. All other steps, they are same. In the circuit diagram, there will be single source of supply, that is plus VCC. If you will use PNP transistor, then you will use minus VCC, negative power supply. Then this is collector resistor RC, which is connected to collector terminal of the transistor, NPN transistor. And similarly, this step is same as that of fixed biasing or base biasing. And here we have base resistor RB, which is connected to base terminal of the NPN transistor. This one is base, this one is collector, and here we have emitter. And with emitter feedback means here we have emitter resistor RE, which is connected to the emitter terminal, and it is further grounded. So IB will be the current flowing through the base terminal and RB. IC will be the current flowing through RC and collector terminal. And IE will be the current flowing through this RE resistor. And across this base emitter junction, the voltage will be VBE, and across this collector emitter junction, the voltage will be VCE. So What we will do, first of all, we have to find the operating point. Operating point means we have to find the value of IC and VCE. How? By applying Kirchhoff's voltage law to input circuit as well as to the output circuit. So first apply Kirchhoff voltage law to this input circuit. What is input circuit? This is input circuit. Apply Kirchhoff's voltage law to the input circuit or to the input loop. It will be VCC minus IBRB minus VBE minus IERE. It is equal to 0. What we have to do is we have to find the value of base current IB from the input loop. How? We have IE here and we know that, suppose this as equation number 1, and we know that emitter current, it is the sum of base current and collector current. And further, as we are using common emitter transistor, so in common emitter transistor, this IC, it is beta times IB. So basically this emitter current IE, it is, take this IB common, it is beta plus 1 times IB. So now put this value in equation number 1. Put the value of IE in equation 1 and we get VCC, it is equal to IBRB plus VBE plus beta plus 1 IB. Find the value of IB. How? Move this VBE to this side. So VCC minus VBE, it is equal to, take IB common and we have RB plus beta plus 1. Here we have RE. So beta plus 1 RE. So to find the value of IB, move this term to this side. So we have base current IB, it is equal to VCC minus VBE upon RB plus beta plus 1 RE. So this is the value of IB, and from this value of IB, calculate the value of collector current IC. What is that? That is beta IB. In case of numericals, you will keep this beta plus 1 as it is. But in theory, we know that the value of this beta, it is high as compared to 1. So you can ignore this 1 as compared to this beta. So you can write this beta plus 1 approximately equal to beta. So IB, it is VCC minus VBE divided by RB plus beta plus 1 RE, but beta is greater as compared to 1. Therefore, beta plus 1 is approximately equal to beta. So the value of base current will be VCC minus VBE upon this VBE is also very small as compared to this VCC. RB plus beta RE. So this is the value of base current. Suppose this is equation 2, this one is equation 3. Now for the one coordinate of operating point, we need the value of collector current. So we know that collector current IC, it is beta times IB plus leakage current, which is small as compared to this. So we have ignored that part. So it is beta times VCC minus VBE upon RB plus beta RE. Now take this beta common from the denominator. So IC, it is equal to beta VCC minus VBE upon take beta common. So here you will have RB by beta plus RE, and this beta and beta will be cancelled out. So we have the value of one coordinate of operating point, which is VCC minus VBE upon RE plus RB upon beta. In theory, you can also ignore this VBE as compared to VCC, but in case of numericals, if it is given that the given transistor is made up of silicon, then you will use this VBE as 0.7 volt. And if it is given that the given transistor is germanium in case of numericals, so you will use this VBE is equal to 0.3 volts. But if it is not given that the given transistor is germanium or silicon, so in that case, in that kind of numerical, what you will do, you will ignore this VBE as compared to VCC because it is very small as compared to this. So this is also approximately equal to VCC upon RE plus RB by beta. So this is one of the coordinates of operating point. So next thing is we have to calculate the value of VCE by applying Kirchhoff voltage law to the output loop. Now suppose this as equation 4th. Now apply Kirchhoff's voltage law to the output loop. So it will be, check the circuit diagram. So it will be VCC minus ICRC minus VCE minus IERE, it is equal to 0. So we have to find the value of VCE. So move this VCE to the other side. We have VCC minus ICRC minus IERE, it is equal to VCE. So the value of VCE will be VCC minus IC is beta IB into RC minus this IE is, we know that beta plus 1 IB RE, and we know that this beta, it is very large as compared to 1. So this will be approximately equal to beta. So we have this beta IB, again this is beta IB. So take this beta IB common, and inside the bracket you will have RC plus RE, and this beta IB is IC. So put the value of IC which you have calculated. So IC is, the value of IC is VCC minus VBE upon RE plus RB upon beta into RC plus RE. And if you will ignore this VBE as compared to VCC, then this value, if VBE is ignored as VCC is greater than VBE, then in that case what will happen? This VCE will be VCC minus VCC upon RE plus RB upon beta into RC plus RE. So you can take this VCC common, and we have 1 minus RC plus RE upon RE plus RB by beta. So this is the second coordinate of the operating point. So now we have both the coordinates of operating point. Therefore, Q point is IC is equal to VCC upon RE plus RB by beta, and VCE it is equal to VCC 1 minus RC plus RE upon RE plus RB by beta. So after the calculation of operating point, we will discuss the stabilization in case of base bias with emitter feedback. So as we know that with increase in temperature, what will happen? The leakage current ICO, it will increase. It increases, and this increase in leakage current, it will increase collector current, and this collector current, it will further increase the temperature, which further increases this leakage current, which will further increase this collector current. So increase in temperature is increasing the collector current, and therefore your Q point, it will shift. But in this case, how stabilization is improved than the previous one? Apply Kirchhoff voltage law to the input loop. Why they have added emitter resistor connected to the emitter terminal? Because it has improved the stability of the operating point. So we have VCC, it is equal to IBRB plus VBE plus IERE. So it means when temperature will increase, collector current will increase. If collector current will increase, it means this emitter current, it will also increase. And if emitter current will increase, then this IERE factor will increase, and this IBR, because VBE, it will remain same, VCC will remain same throughout the circuit. So if this IERE will increase, it means this IBRB factor, it will decrease. Now the value of RB is same. It means IB will decrease, and if IB will decrease, this implies beta IB factor will decrease, and this beta IB factor, if it is decreasing, so this will decrease the collector current. It means our total collector current, it is the sum of beta IB factor and the leakage current. So with increase in temperature, this factor, it increases the collector current, but because of increase in temperature, when collector current will increase, which will further increase this emitter current through this resistor RE, which will increase the voltage drop across this RE, and it will decrease the voltage drop across RB, which decreases the base current, which decreases the collector current. So this factor, it will decrease because of the emitter resistor. So which will compensate the increase in collector current due to temperature. So in this way, the Q point in case of base bias with emitter feedback is stabilized. So this decrease in beta IB compensates the increase in ICU with temperature and therefore stabilizes the operating point or Q point.